Good afternoon, everybody. Alex StarCraft here, and what a wonderful afternoon we have. It is currently about 75 degrees outside, and keep in mind, this is not normal. This is exceptional. I do not live in sunny northern or southern California or Florida or South Carolina or Texas or anywhere south like that. Where I am, it is normally very cold at this time. I live in the mountains, not too far north, but of course, mountains. So this game is going to be from the very recent IEM World Championship. It is an excellent series, I've heard, between two very good players. We have oGsSuperNova, the Korean Terran, currently in Code A, fighting for a spot into Code S. He has been in Code S in the past. And in the top right hand corner, we have Millennium's Feast as the red Protoss. And so Feast is a player, he's kind of just arrived, he's kind of a newcomer to the, I guess you would say, high-level pro gaming scene. He's only, recently started competing a whole lot, I believe, but he has been very successful from everything I've heard. So we will have to see, can he take games off, or can he just 2-0, or win in general against the Korean beast that is oGsSuperNova. So, as I'm casting this, of course, I have mentioned this before, I do play Zerg, so I'm learning a little bit. I've told myself I will be doing not very many Zerg games over the next, I guess you would say, maybe 10 casts or so that'll be about 10 days. And so I will be doing this just because I want to learn the other matchups a little bit more with Terran Protoss, and of course I don't want to do Terran or Protoss. And so I will be watching a lot of these. I'll be learning as I go, of course. And we actually have a 2-racks with gas, or second barracks, I guess I should say, coming out from SuperNova, which he's kind of hiding it in the back a little bit. Of course, that could easily be scouted by Rio once he does scout. But this does deviate from the more standard 1-racks expand or command center first that you will see a lot of Terran players do on these days, particularly on a huge macro map like this. Again, I've talked about this map countless times, how far apart they are, but of course also being in these very close positions here, it definitely changes the dynamic. Because of course cross positions, you're just cross positions, but if you want to look at this, it's one of those situations where, because it's kind of a rotational expand pattern, I guess you could say, where SuperNova, as he expands here and say over here, he's actually expanding a bit closer to his opponent, the natural being not too far away. Particularly this spot right here, which is mostly used against Zergs, will only take you to not very far from the base. But as Feast expands over here and here, he's expanding away from his opponent. So right now we do see SuperNova going for a tech lab with the concussive shells on the way. He's going to have about 2 Marauders, and he will hit with this push. He'll hit with, it looks like it's going to be 4 Marines, 2 Marauders. With the concussive shells, this could be very powerful. Let's see what Feast has out on the field. He is getting his Nexus. It's almost halfway done, so that's very good for him if he can hold this push and not take too much damage. He does have a Stalker out, but is that all the units he has on the field? He has a Zealot, and it is somewhere running right outside the base. We'll see what's happened. It did get shot by something. I do not know what, but it survived. I assume it was not a Marauder, or concussive shells was not done. But Feast knows what's up. He's running back to the base. He's going to be getting out more Stalkers as quickly as he can. And of course, getting probes all the while, making sure he does have that economy to power out all these units and drones, or more probes, I should say, out of the expansion if he can't hold this push. But this is a scary push for this early in the game. It is 4 Marines, 2 Marauders. All Feast has is a Stalker and a Zealot. He will have another Stalker out very soon. Of course, those Marauders do so much damage, and we actually have a bunker that's going to come down from SuperNova. We have the SCV being very well protected by all of these units, as a matter of fact. Few probes being pulled as well. Those do need to be able to soak up some damage, so it looks like Feast is going to be running in. He does not want to lose this Nexus. It is going to start taking whole damage, but Warp Gate is done, making 3 more Stalkers, and so he's pushing in right now, and this is going to take a lot of micro from SuperNova to manage to do well against this. But the probes, even though he is losing them, he's lost about 4 right there, but they are soaking up so much damage. Yes, he did lose 4, but Feast has killed 2 of his own, and he is doing a counter push as we speak. He's got 4 Stalkers out. Warp Gate is indeed finished, And he's trying to micro back that Stalker, but unfortunately it could not. It did get caught. And Marauders, of course, with that concussive shell, they can get away a little more, but they're still not faster. And units actually being rallied into the Stalkers right there. And this is not looking great for SuperNova. Kind of backfired. You see he's forced to throw up 2 bunkers, one at the front, one at the back, in case everything fails. He does not even have an expansion on the way right now. We do see in the production tab, he is starting on the factory tech, getting out those siege tanks, forcing a cancel on that bunker. He's pushing in now, and once again, now SuperNova is the one that is forced to pull the SCVs, and it does look like a good number of SCVs are going to be going down. He is going to get kills on those last few, but the bunker's up, and that is going to be the end of that aggression, at least for now. But we have 6 Stalkers right now, and a proxy pylon going down. We take a look at the income tab really quick. We see Feast up by a good 12 workers, 13 workers with the expansion, of course, that extra saturation. You can see he's nearing having double his opponent's income if you exclude mules. Of course, mules, very, very good. But he does have a sentry now for a little bit more of that control, putting the Zealots in front, running in. Is he going to be able to take out the bunker? Will SuperNova pull any SCVs? It looks like, yes, he is going to pull SCVs to both probably repair the tank and the bunker, but the bunker did fall. The sentry pulling back. Feast doing a very good job making sure that sentry does not overextend and does not get sniped. And we have a lot of SCVs being pulled off the line from SuperNova. He is down by 17 supply. We see Feast. He realizes he's in a pretty good position. He has his opponent contained, still producing probes 2 at a time. He's up to 43 over 25 now, and it's got the robo on the way. But there are 2 tanks on the field now. Tanks very good against Stalkers, good against Zealots as well. But even in that unsieged position, do a lot of damage. But Siege Tech is 10 seconds from finishing. Already, I think that might put an end to Feast pushing, at least for now. But his Robo will be done just after Siege Tech, and he will be able to start getting out those Immortals, which of course do so well against the Siege tanks with the Siege mode, just because they mitigate the damage so very much. And so we see Feast, of course, also throwing down some extra gateways, but I want to keep my eyes on the action here. Take a looking at what SuperNova is doing. Looks like he is going to be getting a medevac. He's getting a good number of siege tanks, but the problem is, right now, he's not in too great of a position to do any kind of counter pushing, put pressure back onto Feast. He's contained in his base. He cannot throw down as an expansion, even though Feast already has one, and just dancing back and forth. But if they do push in too far, he will get shot by the siege tank, and yeah, that'll tell him, okay, can't go in there. Have to be really careful, but I still can contain him. We have a medevac done, and of course, as Terrans love to do when they're behind, you just go drop them. If you can do a good amount of damage, it doesn't matter how badly you got outplayed or how unlucky you got in the beginning of the game. If you can make a good drop happen, that is a good strategy, is of course a very key idea to Terran strategy, and it can do a lot of damage. Now we see Feast with only 1 worker on each gas right now. I think that probably would be on purpose. Yeah, we can see he does have a lot of guys, a lot of gas right now, but we have a few Marines running into the main, and then a bunch more coming into the natural, but there are a lot of Zealots and Immortals. Of course, none of these can shoot up. These units dancing back and forth in the center, but Feast is not watching them. They cannot engage that. Really good force fields, though. Does not block the entire thing, but as a result of just that, his forces cannot be chased. We still have the drop going on in the main, but it doesn't look like it was doing too much damage. These units forced to run very fast. SuperNova not killing a single worker with that. If we take a look at the units lost tab, SuperNova has only lost about 300 more than his opponent. But again, the problem is this economy, and it looks like at this point, SuperNova is going to be all in. You see him pulling a lot of SCVs, Marines, and tanks. He does not have a chance to expand, but Feast does not know this is coming, I do not believe. No, he does not know what is happening, but he will definitely know in just a second. But these are a lot of forces here. The tanks are sieged up. The Zealots getting up without that charge. They did not get up that quickly. And we'll have to see, are the SCVs going to be able to absorb enough damage? It looks like they're not going to be able to. There's still a lot of Immortals and Stalkers alive. And look how fast those Immortals kill those siege tanks. It does not matter how powerful they are. The Stalkers getting a lot of the Marines. There's still a good number of Marines left with the medevac, of course, but there are too many forces. SuperNova doing a little StarCraft Masters micro right there, trying to keep that siege, keep that tank alive. Gotta wonder, did he get that portrait? If he did, he has a chance in this game still. But I don't actually think so, just being a little funny there. It's 38 supplied to 97, and it looks like SuperNova doing as much damage as he can with this, being very active with this medevac, trying to draw away fire. He's building up more units, but at this point, we take a look. 17 workers to 53. We have the Robotics Bay. Robotics Bay lets you get Colossi, and there's a GG from SuperNova. There wasn't even a final push, nothing big like that. He just knew, you know, that's it. He actually probably saw the bay, maybe. I don't actually know where it is. But anyway, yeah, we can all see why that game was over. So I'll bring you the next game very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening. Sleep well tonight.